Good morning, everybody. Paul Talbot from Digital Maestro. We're a website agency here in Somerville, New Jersey, helping small businesses get the visibility that they want and desire and actually need. So I didn't make a PowerPoint presentation. I kind of want to make this as interactive as possible. So feel free to kind of stop or just say, hey, I got a question about something. Something comes up, feel free to do it as we're going along. No need to wait till the end. And the topic that I want to talk about that is kind of near and dear to me, especially since we are in the middle of a program that I'm running called the Ultimate Blog Challenge. It's not necessarily a plug for it, but it's just a time we get together once every quarter. People blog. The challenge is to write content and blog 31 times during the month. So basically it's write an article or blog post a day. That's a lot of work, and that's why it's called the challenge. But the purpose of that is to help people several things. And one of them is what I'm going to be talking about, and that's content. Why it's important to have content on your website. So there are people out there who will say, you know what, all you need, or first of all, the people say you don't even need a website today. If you just have your social media links, if you have, if you're running events, you could just do that over at Eventbrite or other places that allow you to host that kind of stuff. However, that's not the best strategy, in my opinion, because then if anybody wants to find out about you, they have to look all over the web, go to all those different social media platforms, and kind of piecemeal the information that they want to learn about you from these different sites. And I'm sure you're all familiar with it. You go to social media, be it Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, which pick your platform of choice. When you go there, how many times do you ever just go, get what you want, and leave? Probably never, right? Everybody in terms of social media, in my experience, gets what I call internet ADD, right? You're going to the site, you're looking for what you want, and then something else catches your eyes, a post from somebody else or an image or a video. And next thing you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even more is kind of gone. So having a website where you can put all of your content is going to be paramount to doing a lot of things for you. And when I say content, there's different things that come to mind with that. Content could be, sure, your standard pages that every website typically has, your homepage, about page, products, services, contact, things that you do special, maybe different locations that your physical location might have. Or it could be, the extra stuff like a blog, where you can post articles or content that way on a regular basis. Another good example of content are case studies, where you can show before and after results of your clients, right? So for a lot of you, this is a great thing. Karen, Lisa, Rochelle, Danelle, if you were to put before pictures of clients with their permission, of course, and afterwards, that a picture speaks 1,000 words, right away, boom, 2,000 before and after. And you could really show people difference, let them know how you work with them and what this person did. And that can really entice people to want to work together with you. Other information that you can provide when it comes to content is checklists. Here's what you need to do in order to accomplish XYZ. So Tim, I know in the past you've talked about how people mess up their videos as simple using with an iPhone, right? You can come up with a checklist on your website that say, here's the things that you need to consider when working with an iPhone and taking video, right? A lot of people are amazed at how good the iPhone quality is, especially since Apple's running commercials that say shot entirely on an iPhone, right? So offering something like that will want to have people come back to your website and more. Even just videos, putting videos on your website is going to be helpful. Although, my estimation, having a video is not as great for SEO purposes, which is a completely different reason for having content. And we're going to get to that in the next half of my discussion. But they are a great way to build engagement. When people see you repeatedly, they hear you, they hear the inflection in your voice. That's a lot more of a connection than somebody just reading and maybe skimming what you're writing in text. Okay. So all of these are different ways and ideas that you can add additional information, what I'm calling content, to your website. All right, so we put all this stuff up, or even if it's not a once and dump slam of content on your website, this is something you should build up and continually add to your website. That's actually going to be better for you. What's the benefit of all this? Because I did say this is going to take time. It's effort to come up with all this content. What's the benefit? Well, number one, it's going to position you as an expert in your field when people see how much content, what you're writing about, the depth of your expertise. And they're going to think, ooh, this person really knows what they're doing. I want to work with that person. Right. So it's a way that you can develop a following, develop a reputation. A lot of people call their website, or they don't call it, but I call it, it's a destination for validation. So when you meet somebody at a networking event or you see somebody online, what's the first thing most people do? They go to the search engines and Google them. And when they come to your website, they're going to go, oh, okay, this person's legit, right? Whether or not that person is or isn't, that perception is so important. So you want to make a good first impression, right? So having all that information out there, looking good and professional is going to be in your best interest. When it comes to SEO, I know I'm flying by. Any questions, by the way? I'll take a deep breath. All right, good. When it comes to all this content, another great thing about it is that it's good for your SEO, the search engine optimization. So when people are searching for you, you want to get ranked high on the search engines like Google, Bing, and Yahoo. So this way people aren't going to, page 2 or 3, even if people go to page 4 these days. Having all that information is going to make it easier for the search engines to find you, because after all, if you just have a one-page website versus a website that has, let's say, 100 pages of content, it's certainly easier to find 100 pages of content than just one, right? If you're going through that needle in a haystack and there's just one needle, you're not going to find it as quickly perhaps as if there were 1,000 needles in that haystack. So having more content is going to help you with the search engines. Having content on your website also allows you to link from one article or page to another. This is known as internal linking. So if on a blog post, let's say you're talking about, let's just say the nutritional value of kale. Oh my gosh, would anybody ever write it? Well, I would never write it, but I know many of you would. You're writing about kale. Well, you might have a link to similar types of vegetables, maybe celery or lettuce, and you can have a link to your website. Having those links internally on your website actually helps with the search engines. So even though you're linking just to yourself, that's going to be valuable. As I talk about all this content, keep in mind that it's not the volume. So it's not just quantity, but the main thing is quality. You want to make sure you're writing good stuff, right? You want to make it so that people want to read it, they want to learn about it, and it's good. Always write for the visitor, always write for your target audience. You never want to write trying to think about, ooh, how can I get this ranked? So keywords and all that kind of SEO technical stuff is definitely important, but the number one rule is always write for your audience first, and then go back and tweak it. And there are specific ways that you can do that on all pages and blog posts and any content that's on the website to help the search engines know what's on that page, what's important, and how you're going to do things. And then lastly, because I am running out of time, on your pages when it comes to content, even if it's information for your visitor, always have a call to action. Have something that you want them to do, be it to give you a call, to fill out a contact form. In some cases, it might be as simple as just leaving a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Have you ever done this? What has your experience been? This is a way that you can help generate interaction between visitors on your website and you. And if somebody does leave a comment, always try to go back and reply to them. You can actually have a conversation, a threaded conversation about something on your website through those comments. So there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of stuff that can be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be, There are certainly things that you can do on, kind of take those small little baby steps to get yourself going. And before you know it, your site will be rich with content. You'll be found in the search engines and you'll get more and more traffic on a regular basis. So that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. I can be reached at through my website, Digital Maestro. That's Digital digital. And then the word that everybody has problems with is Maestro. M as in Mary, AESTREO.com. Digital Maestro. Thank you very much, everybody. Questions? If I have any time left. Oh, I have 2 minutes left. No, that was 2 minutes ago. Lisa, go quick.
Yeah. Okay. I do have a question. So good presentation. So thank you. But with SEO, are websites like LinkedIn, where if you go in and refresh your page, change something, it shows up higher on the Google search, or no?
So, it can help if you're updating things. It all depends upon the website and how often Google knows to go back and check to look for those changes. So it's a lot easier to tell the search engine when you're in control. So for your website, if you update content, it's a lot easier to do that than to tell Google, say, hey, go over to LinkedIn on this page, on this post that I wrote, maybe a week ago, and I've tweaked it. So now kind of update it. So that can help. Honestly, you're always better off trying to optimize for your own website because you're in control of it.
Well, I don't have a question, but I want to agree wholeheartedly in that your website is, think about it. It's kind of like if you were going to go, especially most of us are in a professional services type of arena where we're dealing on the service side, do you want to have somebody lead you down a back alley into a hole, into a basement and say, hey, here's my office? Well, no one will go, you get the address, you Google it, you go, yeah, I'm not going. Same thing here is your website. Even if there are other ways that you're getting the traffic, you need that website. That website is your face to the world. It's the first thing everyone checks, whether they're coming to visit you live, whether they're going to do everything, they're really going to check your website. And if you don't have a website, forget it. The decision has been made. Every consumer goes out and does that homework. So I can't agree more with Paul that even if it doesn't drive a ton of traffic, you need that, like you used to need a nice front office space to walk into. Now you don't need that big office space that you're paying thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for. Yeah. Why did Merck build this beautiful building in central New Jersey? Because all they did was sell pills. But how do you get the best people to sell pills? You have them drive in this entrance and they're sold. They want to work there. And I know I used to help to place people there. And the second they drove into Merck, they were working there. Same thing with your website. You need to have that nice website.